Hello and welcome to Wednesday. Probably looks a little weird behind us because this is a scene you don't normally see. Yesterday we did character creation and miniature painting for Dungeons & Dragons. We rearranged the house and we haven't changed it, which is why there's a table still over there. It also explains why there is a couch over here. And the backdrop behind us is, if nothing else, unique. This was probably the first vlog to ever be shot this way, so that's kind of cool.
Enjoy the curtains.
Yeah, our beautiful curtains. Today's video is going to be super important, and I kindly request that you watch it all. In addition to that, I kindly request that you wait until the very end to comment, because there's a lot of information that we need to share with you. This video, I'm going to be honest, is heavy. It's very heavy, and it's very important information that impacts both of our lives in a big way. And it's finally time to let you know. I say that because this is information that we shared with our patrons.
June?
May or June. So they've known for a few months. And honestly, even though we've essentially made this video once before, I don't think it's really any easier making it the second time around. Mal resigned. Mal resigned from her position. If you weren't aware, for the last few years, Mal has been a high school art teacher. If you've watched, a considerable amount of the vlogs, you probably knew this. We talk about it from time to time. Mal is an artist. She does her own channel, Mal Makes. So people are pretty aware of the fact that she's also a high school art teacher. This news is going to, without a doubt, come as a surprise. And the reason it's going to come as a surprise is because we have never talked about any negative aspects of her teaching, of any of your job stuff. At most, maybe in a Q&A, we would have said, yeah, Mal occasionally has some hard kids. Sometimes they're hard to reach. It was a lot worse than that. It was a lot worse than that. And the reason we've never been able to talk about it is because simply put, you getting on the internet and talking about the negative aspects of your job is pretty bad for job security, as you may imagine. So for years, we have not been able to talk about any of this. But it's important that you know that Mal resigned, and I think it's 10 times more important that you know why. Because it was hard. It was harder than hard. It was, let me try and put it into better words. When your wife comes home several times a week and cries because of how terrible the experiences are, that's not good. And when that happens week after week, month after month, year after year, it wears on you to the point where you feel like you can't stand it anymore.
It was killing me.
It was killing Mal. Once again, I'm sure a lot of you are watching like, oh my god, what is this? This is very out of the blue. I know. It's really sucked that we haven't been able to talk about it. But she has had a lot of problems over the years with this job. There were kids who, honestly, it blows my mind, the things that came out of some of these kids' mouths. Like, it was absurd. Like, I can't believe anyone would say that to another human being. Mal was threatened multiple times over the years, especially in this last year, multiple times. And nothing was really done about it. I'll just say that. There's been a lot of facets of her job that have not been good. And I want to stress that there were good parts, and there were good kids. And there were times where Mal would come home and she would say, this such and such student is doing such a good job. I've seen such an improvement. Mal has such a passion for teaching. Such an absolute... I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Mal has such an absolute passion for teaching. And I would see it. She would come home and she would tell me about what her one student is doing and how they've improved. And she'd say, you have to see this artwork. You have to see what they were doing at the beginning of the year and how they have improved. She cared so much for the kids, and that is ultimately what ended up destroying her, is because she wanted to help them so badly. and they would ridicule her and talk back to her, and she would come. She basically cared too much.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
That's how your mom always put it.
She would come home and she would break down crying because of how terrible her day was, and it was one of those situations where it was like it was all because she cared too much. So this is built up year after year, and to be quite honest, Mal almost didn't go back this year. We were in this kind of the same boat last year, but there was some stuff that was changing. Mal got a bigger classroom, and there was some, we've kind of shown some stuff on the vlog about how she got a bigger classroom and all this. So we were excited about that, and Mal decided, even though things have been really hard, I think that things are going to change, and this is going to be a good year. And
there were things that were better.
And there were things that were better.
Mm-hmm.
But there were things that didn't change, and there were things that were worse.
Yeah.
And whenever we started getting into to February and March, I was starting to get concerned. I was like, I really don't know how much more of this Mal can take. And my concern is that if Mal continued, she would be permanently burnt out, and she would just be done with teaching forever. And that worried me. I mean, Mal loves teaching. She is so passionate about these students. She's so passionate about art, and to see that burn out and die is the most depressing thing. And knowing that I can't do anything about it. So we talked to a lot of different people. Whenever we were in Japan, we talked to quite a few people about the situation. They were giving us advice about what we could do. And I'm going to be honest, the scariest thing in the world for me was convincing myself that Mal needed to leave. And it was scary for me because I am a YouTuber. I do not have a normal income. My income fluctuates up and down like a roller coaster all the time because it's based on views. And I've always had some solace in the fact that Mal had a real job. She got paid a set amount. We had benefits. We had insurance. We have all this stuff. And I'm like, Mal, you got to stay there because you got to make sure that we have this to fall back on, because my job is crazy, and who knows what could happen. And it was one of those things, like I basically saw my wife dying. It's hard to explain, but I've known Mal for a long time, and I knew what she was like. And since she's been working at this school, and then especially during the school year, she's not the same person. There is a special joy and a special happiness that Mal is always putting off, and it's so diminished whenever she's working and during the school year, and it starts to come back during the summer. And whenever August would hit every summer, you could start to see it just starting to go away, because she was just so anxious and so horrified that she had to, go back and do this. So it took a lot of effort on my part to finally swallow everything and say, you know what, it does not matter. Mal has got to leave, because I can't sit back any longer and watch my wife come home from work several times a week and just cry because things are so bad for her. So I said, Mal, you're going to leave. And she did. She resigned. Mal has been doing Mal Makes since January, and I got to say that I'm super proud of you and super impressed by what you've managed to accomplish. But Mal Makes is now Mallory's full-time job. Mal moved from doing high school art to internet art. The channel is now what she is working on full-time. And like I said, this is something that's been really hard for me, because her income has dropped a lot. She went from having a real job to having a starting YouTube channel. She has no benefits anymore, so the being able to get insurance from the job and all that stuff, that's all gone, and it was something that was necessary. If anyone is watching right now and saying, that's a big jump, are you sure? I'm sure. I'm so sure. Like I haven't been sure of anything this much in a long time. And you're just going to have to trust me on that. I've watched her deal with this for years, and it's been something that, I knew what the right answer was, but I've been holding back because I've honestly just been scared of how our finances would change, of how a lot of stuff in our lives would change. But my wife's health and sanity is so much more important, and I'm really glad that we finally made that decision. So, since then, I have got to tell you, especially if you've been watching this summer, if Mal seemed in any way happier or better or more passionate, more full of life, then I would agree with you. After we made the decision for Mal to leave, everything changed. Within the span of probably 2 or 3 weeks, Mal was just beaming with energy and so excited, and I've been able to tell when I've been editing the vlogs from this summer, she is just a completely different person, and she's the person that I met. She's the person that I fell in love with. She has all of that passion and energy back, and I'm just really glad that we caught you before it was all too late. So where do we go from here? I do want to make it clear right now that Mal is not quitting teaching. It's not that she's destroyed her teaching license or ripped up her bachelor's degree or anything like that. That hasn't happened. She is still passionate about teaching, but she has got to step away from this. She really does. The reason that she's stepping away in the first place is that I honestly feel that if she continues, then she may never teach again. She would be 100% completely burned out. She is getting a lot of passion and joy out of doing Mal Makes. That excitement that she has for teaching is coming back. And it's been really exciting to see. She is advancing in painting and doing so much awesome stuff. And I already said already, but I'm super proud of you. It's been really impressive to see. And sometimes I'll watch her respond to people in the comments of her videos, and she's just typing up paragraphs of stuff, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, well, this person wanted to know about how they or what they should buy for this particular thing, and I just wanted to help them. And that teaching is still there. I think it's important to note that what Mal was doing before was teaching. What Mal is doing now is teaching. She's still a teacher, and that's what she's passionate about, and that's the flame that we want to continue to build up. Yeah. That's the thing that we want to keep burning as bright as possible, and Mal Makes is how we're going to do that moving forward. Now, I don't think we ever announced it on the vlog. It's only been announced on your videos. Mm-hmm. A few months ago, Mal started her own Patreon. That is because we have taken, quite honestly, a huge cut in our finances from Mal resigning from her job. Mm-hmm. The income for her up to this point has been sales from prints and posters, ad revenue on YouTube, which
who knows a lot of the time,
and also is pretty much non-existent. You release 2 videos every 2 weeks. It's not a lot. And then canvases, which can go for a lot, can go for a little, and that is Mal's income. So that's why we decided to start a Patreon. I want to say a very special thank you to all of my patrons who before were our patrons, because they are the ones that really encouraged us to do that and said, we want to help support Mal. We are, fans of Mal, fans of her work, and we want to do that. So I've never announced it on Steven Vlog, but Mal has her own Patreon, You can go to supportmal.com, and if you're a big fan of Mal Makes, you can support her there. But that's Mal's job now. And I don't know how long she's going to do this. I don't know if this is going to be something Mal does forever, but it's something that she's very passionate and working towards now. And, at some point in the future, she may return to teaching, but for now, she's going to be focusing on YouTube, focusing on art, the things that make her happy. Working on creating awesome paintings for you guys and bringing them to the channel. So yeah, that's the whole story. That's everything. And I know that was heavy. I know that there was a lot of sudden information. I just want to thank all of you guys for watching, especially over the years. I know many of you have been with us for a long, long time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting us. And thanks for understanding. This is once again, this is not a decision I make lightly. Or we make lightly.
Yeah. Rather.
This has been tough. This has been really hard, and especially for me to see her suffer and be like, no, we can't do that. It's too risky. The finances change too much. We won't have the state insurance. Like, what will we do? All this stuff. Another facet that has been really upsetting is that up to this point we were looking for, we wanted to get a house and we wanted to get a mortgage, and we haven't been able to do it with my income because of the work I do.
And how strange it is for the bank to look at.
We were pretty much riding on Mal being able to carry us through it. Now that she has left her job, all hope is pretty much lost. And I knew that we were giving that up too. I was like, and I told her that. I said, if you leave your job, like, we're not going to get a house. Like, it's not going to happen. We established a bunch of business stuff to potentially help that work out at some point in the future, but it's going to be years. It's probably going to be another 2 years before we can even start to maybe get a mortgage. And I said, so those dreams are going to be gone. But she was okay with that,
yeah.
And I was okay with that, and I hope that helps everyone understand exactly what this was for her. I mean, this has been, once again, not an easy decision to come to. But once again, we appreciate all the support. And if you are interested in supporting Mal or myself more directly, we have Patreon accounts set up.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to supportmal.com or supportsteven.com. We have different rewards for different things. If you're interested in receiving Mal's artwork, you can do that.
There's a tier for that.
There's a tier where Mal actually mails out hand-signed prints. On my Patreon, we do a monthly video where we talk about a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, which is how patrons knew about all of this information a few months ago. It's bizarre for me because now we are now 2 YouTubers. The family is in YouTube, and it's
even the cats.
Yes, especially Kepler. It's just been hard for me to swallow that neither of us has a real job, a steady job, and we are both on this roller coaster together, and we're okay. We are stable. It's just for someone who really is by the books and crunches numbers and looks at all that sort of stuff. It's been very frightening, to be honest. I'm just being completely real with you. Anyway, that's it. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Thanks for understanding. If you have any questions or anything, you can put them down in the comments. If you have any words of support for Mal, leave them down there. I mean, she'll read them. It's been hard for her also, leaving this job because she's been there for many years. She does have friends there. She has coworkers that are friends. She has kids that love her, that you've been very connected with.
Yeah.
And I think that was the hardest thing for you.
That's the hardest thing.
Because, I mean, she was like, these kids are coming up, and I was going to be their teacher next year because they loved me so much. They were going to come find me and make sure that they requested me or whatever. And I know that, on the first day of school, they're real confused because they don't know why you're not there. And they don't know the immense struggles that you've been having.
Yeah.
So, I know that's been difficult. But yeah, any words of support or encouragement that you want to offer, I'm sure Mal would appreciate that.
Told
She
myself I wasn't gonna cry anymore.
she don't. I mean, one thing about it is she's very happy with what she's doing now, and she knows that you had to get away from all that,
Yeah.
and you made the right decision, but it's still hard. Yeah. I'm gonna stop rambling. I know this vlog is already super long, but this all had to be said, and now it's out there, and you know what the situation is. So, thanks for watching. We appreciate it, and yeah, more stuff tomorrow, I guess. As always, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?